it has started to change, y'all. The weather. Unless you are somewhere where it's always nice and warm. I am in my 42nd cycle of fall and winter time. And y'all, I'm sorry. Every time I get in the car, I want to drive, and I'm on these Memphis streets that are hella horrible. I mean, potholes and patch spots and just everything. And I'm headed to Millington, so hopefully the streets won't be as bad. You won't hear the boom, boom, boom. But this is like the time that I have most often to do my videos as I'm adjusting my office space to accommodate more equipment. So I got a lot going on right there until it gets set up how I need it. I just have computers all over the house right now, and I got to get another desk and blah 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 blah. But anyway, yeah, I'm on my 42nd cycle in the physical form here in this RAM, dealing with the elements. And I'm gonna go into the dream, but that just came to me of talking about the elements, because I hear a lot of people, whenever the seasons change, people will say, oh, it's so hot, oh, it's so hot, it's hot. Or they'll be like, oh, it's so cold, it's so cold, it's so cold, it's so cold. And it's like, yeah, it's the weather, and the planet is doing what it's supposed to do. All right? It continues to change and evolve and go through these cycles just like we do. So we have to go through a period of adjusting. And I don't want you all to shy away from the elements. What I do, I even go into the elements. And I mostly like to go and ground in the different elements of the cycle. And so doing some grounding in the elements allows that energy to flow in you and allow you to connect with the elements of the earth as it flows into a whole new cycle. You all know that I deal with traditional Chinese medicine, and we're in the fall season right now, so our focus is the lungs and the small intestines. And again, we should be eating those foods, of course, those colors, like we see the pumpkin and figs, pomegranate seeds, apples, bananas, pears, squash, butternut squash, zucchini, cinnamon, spices, ginger, garlic. All of that is good during this time. I know we're going into what some would celebrate as holy days. And I celebrate the winter solstice and the winter solstice energy. And when we go into the winter solstice, we'll be going into a whole nother cycle. And I'll go into that later when we hit December. But right now, I want us to focus on those foods to help cleanse and detox. Yesterday, I bought some more chlorophyll drops. It's chlorophyll mixed with maca, matcha, however you want to pronounce it. And I'm going to do those drops in my water, as well as I've been doing more of my ginger tea. Of course, I do my reishi and ginseng coffee with maca root and cacao powder. So when I'm in a mood, like right now, I want something, a little bit warm and with flavorful. I do the ginger, but I always like a change from the ginger. So I do the reishi mushroom coffee in conjunction with the maca root and the ginseng, right? And I do a non-dairy almond milk creamer. If you want to add that in as a light sweetener. So yeah, you all, this is the season to focus on those lungs. As I start to cleanse out everything that was in my body, I was a little congested. I believe it was Monday of this week. My body wanted to start cleansing because the weather changed. We went from like 60s and 70s and we dropped down to like the 20s. And so now my body's like, okay, it's time to adjust to the season. It's time to adjust to the changes of the cycles. And that's what my body is doing. So we never want to say that we're sick, but we're going through an adjustment period. I talked to you all about that before as well. Also, and the Spirit gave me this the other day as I was like laying in bed, and I posted it on here too. I made a post about it, but what's coming to me and what I'm feeling for the collective, for a lot of us, is that we're coming into a space of manifestations. And this is not, I'm not saying this in regards as a hype. I'm not saying this in regards to anybody getting like, oh yeah, or getting caught up in the materialistic mindset of it all. But when I'm talking about reaping the karma, and you all have to understand, karma is not negative. Karma is just is. It's not negative or positive. Karma just is. It is basically the receiving of what has been put out. It's a reciprocity. And so through the trials in our lives, you know, we go through ebbs and flows in this realm. We go through highs and lows. We go through some of us have been in the trenches longer and have endured longer than a lot of people, right? And all of us have a story. Everybody has a story to tell. No matter who you are, we have a story. And so whenever you are comfortable sharing that story and start to share that story with people around you, that's when you start to let it go. It falls off of you. You're not attached to it anymore. I tell people about the things that I've been through, and I'm going to go in 2023. I'm going to share more with you all because I'm working on some chronicles that it will be released, and you know, moving forward. But it's just over my life, and within these 42 years, I've been through a lot of shit, y'all. As we all have. I don't like to make what I've been through more grandiose or more, you know, worse or bad or whatever you may want to say than anybody else. But the biggest thing is how we have utilized those pieces of the story that was created for us, that was part of our destiny, to shape who we are now moving forward, and how we utilize that to help influence and awaken and enlighten those who fall within our path, whether it's through just our energy, or if it's through a conversation, or if it's through the channeling that we do here on YouTube. This is a channeling. I'm doing a channeling. This is a transmission because this is a YouTube channel. All right. So this is a frequency that's being exchanged. And I take it very serious. When I say peace and high frequencies, that ain't nothing I came up with. Everything that is coming out, that's being channeled and transmitted, is through my highest self, through the highest frequency of light that dwells within me, that gives me that spark to share. And so peace and high frequencies just gives us the calmness, yes, taps us into, because when I say peace, it's the stillness. It's within the quiet and the stillness that we hear. Right? When we chatter and talk, you know, they always say an empty wagon makes a lot of noise. So in the quiet and the stillness is when we tap in to that information that is telepathic, that is of a higher frequency that doesn't even use verbal communication. We receive those downloads or information. And I say downloads because it's coming from the highest frequency, which is the divine energy down here. It has to come down. And because it has to come down to this realm, it's dropping from high to low. So it's downloading within this 3D physical avatar form. So the peace and high frequencies came to me, and I share that with you, and you can share that with other people. I don't care. It's mine to share. It ain't even mine. It was given to me to share for you all to say it or utilize it. But that is peace and high frequencies is what I'm on. I like to say little as possible unless it's meaningful. And I like whatever I'm saying as I'm in the peace and the stillness that I receive the high frequency download of information to share with those who are around me. And so I'm going to go into the dream space last night because the information that was given in that space was quite interesting, y'all. And let me go. I'm going to go do this and I'm going to come right back and share. Okay, so going back into the manifestations, because I got a little off track, y'all. But going back into the manifestations that's coming to me is the fact that we are going to benefit from the karma. That is just what is. That's just the reciprocity of what we've been putting out. And a lot of us have been through a whole lot. And through what we've been through, we still kept a smile on our face. Through what we've been through, we didn't share and just bring everybody's energy down with the woes of what we've been through. When we were going through, we stayed... the word that's coming to me is jubilant. I don't know why that word is coming to me. But we stayed jubilant. It's like jubilee. We stayed in a high energy, praising, happy-go-lucky, just excited about life. We stayed knowing that whatever we were going through was soon coming to an end, and we would come to a space where we would reap what we've sown by staying in that frequency of jubilee, of being jubilant, of being on a higher frequency, and just making sure that everybody was okay, and making sure that our family was good, making sure our loved ones were taken care of. We cried in silence. You've cried in your pillow in the morning, noon, and night. You went in the bathroom and you screamed and you've cried. You've had to go out to the park and just cry and release when nobody else was around because you didn't want to share what was going on in your life that would bring other people down. You always wanted to keep people uplifted, and because of that, in my light language, I am telling you that you are getting ready to manifest those things into your life fastly because you have been diligent. You have been adhering to the mission because of who you are, because of the light that you've held in you, and you continue to shine in your darkest moments. You are now getting ready to benefit. And I hadn't done it in a while, you all. I shared with you, I think it was last year or maybe year before, of speaking in your light language. And now more and more my light language comes to me, and it comes to me only when those things that I need, when I'm doing protection over my family, or there's a message that this language, this English language that I'm speaking is not what I need to say. So I don't know. I know in church, you all heard of it as speaking in tongues and all of that, and that's what the bullshit Bible. But we have a light language. When you tap into your light language, and it came to me, you all, I shared this with y'all. It came to me when I was about 14 or 15. And I didn't even understand it. And when I tried to share it with my mother, her thing was like, no, you can't do this. You're not filled with the Holy Spirit. You know, she had that curse of the Jesus on her. And she didn't understand. But we have a light language. It is the African Holy Spirit that dwells within us, because we are the melanated gods. And we can tap into talking to the divine outside of this English language. And before, when I would send protection out over my son, or I would send protection out over my family or myself, or even I would call those things into my life that was given to me, like I said, those peace, high frequencies that downloaded, I would have to speak in my light language. And a light language is just, it formulates within the Dantian. It formulates in it's like in the solar plexus, for those of you all not familiar with that. It's like in between the sacral and the solar plexus. It's like around the belly button, that lower Dantian energy. And it fires up from that. It's like a Kundalini energy that fires up to the throat chakra, and you release out the words. I know a lot of people that speak within their light language. And if you have not spoken within your light language, or you've suppressed it, just ask for it to come to you. You guys of the melanin form, you shall have it. And so those manifestations are coming in like this for us, because we suffered in silence. And it's not so much of the suffering in silence, because we didn't suppress the suffering. We acknowledged it. We didn't try to act as if it was not. And we accepted it. But we didn't accept it in a space to bring everybody else down. We just did what we had to do. We just walked through what we had to do. And now, because we did that with a heart of jubilance, I hope that's a word, because it keep coming to me, y'all. And hell, I don't know. That now is going to be expedited from now until the end of 2020 on the Gregorian calendar. And as we march into January, and then when we fully hit the new year, in the spring, all right, then that's when you'll really see the unfolding within that. The Ides of March, the spring equinox, the balance of sunlight and moonlight in the spring equinox, the harvest time, the spring, the fertility. All right, that is to me my earthly Freuda and the Heteru energy, and the love and the sensuality and the pink and the yellow. You know, that's all it is when we talk about Astarte and Easter. Ishtar, Istar, I-S-T-A-R. It's all about the fertility. It's all about the giving birth, or being pregnant with, and then it starts to come out. It's that love. It's all of that. we have equal balance. That's the real beginning of the new year for us. And then we also can look at the Chinese New Year, that I believe is somewhere within the end of January and the 1st of February. But whenever it is for you in your mind, because it don't even matter, because all of this stuff is scrambled, tap into your divine consciousness that dwells within you, and it'll give you when it is. Don't even have to have specific months that have been created. For some of you, it starts right now. For some of you, you start to see the unfolding now. So I just wanted to leave you with that. I was going to tap into the dream, but I'm going to come back later about that, because I was on another planet. And I saw some things on another planet, but I wanted to put this message out first. I may come out later, either tonight, or I may wait till this strong to, or some may say weekend, strong in, whatever you want to say. All the English language is a big ass mess, as long as your intentions and your heart is where it needs to be. And that's why I say speak in your light language, because we can never get it right. No matter what we decide to say in the English language, it's always going to be some type of fuck up. Because we don't know the etymology of every word. I know I don't, and I ain't getting ready to try to. But based on our intentions of what we want it to be, that's the only anything that we can put out there and put forth. But speaking in your light language endows within you the power that no man will understand. It's of a higher frequency. And it's tapping in right where you need it. All right, so I'm headed back to finish the rest of my day and help put smiles on other people's faces. I hope that I've dropped some type of seed into your brain that you can take and move with today and empower you moving forward, knowing and confirming what you already had in your mind and in your heart, what's going on. I'm just confirmation. I'm no more of an oracle than you are. We all oracles. We all are divine sparks. I ain't no more better than you. Remember, nobody is higher than you. Nobody knows more than you. You just have to tap into that knowing. That's all. That's all. We are gods. I leave you in peace.